Hello, Dr. Coker here, and this is the story of Coldharbour from the Elder Scrolls Online. This is a neutral zone not connected to any of the faction stories, but it is connected to the main quest. During the main quest, after meeting with the 3 faction leaders, it is decided that the fighters and mages guilds take the fight to Molag Bal himself. This is what brings you to Coldharbour. When you arrive, Cadwell welcomes you and tells you that the nearby bridge leads to the Hollow City, so you head that way. As you enter the Hollow City, you are greeted by the groundskeeper, so you ask her about the city.
The city's original name no longer matters. Now it is a hollow city, waiting to be filled. A perfect place to begin an assault on Molag Bal. This city can be your armor against the hazards of Coldharbour. It just needs life to return it to glory.
She offers to give you a tour and to provide some background on the city. As you walk the streets, she tells you that this city once existed in Nirn and it was alive and vibrant. The people were devoted to Meridia and they were once safe until Molag Bal sent his minions to attack. At this time, the Eyelid King, Lalorian Dinar, was visiting and he took command of the city's defenses. Meridia herself witnessed the battle and saw the giant portal Molag Bal was using, so she warded the city and sent the entire thing back through the portal into Coldharbour. She now holds a portion of his domain and he cannot touch it. But since then, most of the inhabitants have died and the Eyelid King has been captured. Nevertheless, Meridia foresaw that one day this city would become a focal point for an assault against the God of Schemes. The groundskeeper believes that time is now.
This city shall serve you well against Molag Bal. Know that every choice you make in Coldharbour will have an effect on the Hollow City. It shall be reborn with every person you save, forged into a weapon by your own hands.
She advises you to begin by finding King Dinar and Vanus Galarian. All she knows is that the Eyelid King is in a tower to the west, and Vanus the Mage is somewhere to the east. She also asks you to look out for potential allies along the way. Traveling eastward, you encounter a projection of Vanus Galarian. You speak with it and it tells you that Vanus has entered the Black Forge to destroy the Great Shackle which Molag Bal is using to activate the plane meld. You notice that the projection seems to only give pre-recorded answers and you can't actually get live information from Vanus.
No need to concern yourself. I'm sure I have this well in hand. I imagine I've already destroyed the Great Shackle, and even now we're celebrating our victory over the Lord of Brutality. Yes, I'm sure that's what has happened.
Not feeling reassured, you enter the Black Forge yourself. You learn that Vanus was captured and Molag Bal plans to use his essence to power the Black Forge. Somehow, Vanus has split his essence into 3 entities, and first you speak with the essence of Galarian's health.
When Vanus Galarian was captured, he cast a spell that divided him into his 3 essential essences: health, stamina, and magicka. I am the Great Mage's health. Set each of these essences free, and we can make the Great Mage whole once more.
The essence of health is being siphoned by vampires, so you kill them. This frees the essence of health, and he then guides you to the essence of stamina. You find the essence of stamina, and he tells you that he's been fed to the slaves to keep them working. You can either convince them to give it back, or kill them if they refuse. You manage to persuade or intimidate all of them, so none of them have to die.
Well, in that case, just make sure you shut down this damn forge.
The essence of stamina is freed, and he leads you to the essence of magicka. The essence of Vanus's magicka says he is bound to Molag's machine by 4 seals. He asks you to break them to set him free. With the essence of magic freed, he says he will lead you to Vanus's body, which is guarded.
Through the boiler tunnels waits the mighty Guardian, Kothutwilk. Defeat the Guardian and open the cage that holds our physical form. I can lead you to the Great Mage. Just stay close and follow my light.
Once you restore his 3 essences, Vanus's body is restored. He admits he shouldn't have attempted this on his own, but then he says the 2 of you can still destroy the Great Shackle. The 2 of you then proceed to explore it. Together you find magic conduits and reverse their flow. During this time, you have the opportunity to free 2 Nord Soulshriven, Sage Terora and Treva. After reversing all the conduits, you enter the mooring. There you defend Vanus while he casts powerful spells to break the shackle.
The great shackle has been shattered! The threat of the plane meld is no more!
Jolly good, and as soon as you deal with the planar vortex, everything will be right as rain.
What? Explain yourself, Van. What planar vortex?
We learn from Cadwell that the shackle was already used to create a planar vortex which would carry out the plane meld anyway without the need for the shackle. Vanus opens a portal back to the Hollow City as the shackle is collapsing. Back at the Hollow City, Vanus is pleased that the shackle has been destroyed, but says more needs to be done according to Cadwell's claims.
Let the mages inside know that I'll be joining them in a moment. I need to finish with Cadwell and the groundskeeper first. I don't know about you, but I find them both to be more than a little, peculiar.
The mages in the guild are thrilled to learn he is still alive. Moments later, he enters and says the mages guild needs to meet with the fighters guild to discuss what to do next. For the moment, you head west to seek out the Eyelid King, Lalorian Dinar. You find an abandoned pack with the sigil of the Fighters Guild and an empty campsite. In a journal nearby, you learn that the Fighters Guild were scattered as they came through the portal. A moment later, you run into Faranil, a wood elf shadow walker. She tells you her clan will treat the Fighters Guild as trespassers and hunt them down, but she actually wants to help the guild. As you continue to search for the Fighters Guild, you are attacked by other shadow walkers. Then you and Faranil find a dead guild member and you ask her why her clan is hunting them.
Because we made a stupid deal long time ago. We became the guardians of this forest in exchange for power and immortality. But look at the cost. Now the Shadow Walkers hunt anyone who dare sets foot in these woods.
She doesn't want to oppose her clan directly, but she doesn't want to hunt the Fighters Guild either. She tells you that if you fuse Spriggan bark with wisps of light, you will be able to see invisible Shadow Walkers. Following the Shadow Walkers, you come upon a brawl between Shadow Walkers and the Lamia. Caught between them is another Fighters Guild member, a Khajiit named Kamu. After the fight, you speak to Kamu.
We heard voices in the woods. We thought it was other members of our expedition calling to us for help. But Captain Alfari figured it out. The voice comes from this tower. Whoever is locked in there needs our help, and he will help us in return.
You tell him he can find protection in the Hollow City, so he heads that way. Then you consider whether to accept assistance in the tower from the Lamia or the Shadow Walkers, as they both offer it. Telling Faranil you will help her, she asks to meet with you in private. You're going to help her convince her clan to stop the killing, so first you need to make a good impression on them by killing the Lamia champion. You return to Faranil and find that some other members of her clan have shown up.
You're lucky, outsider. The only thing keeping me from sticking my knife in you right now is our code. But if you think I'm going to help you, think again.
Some of them are friendly and give you pointers about how to address their council. Then Faranil takes you to speak with the council. One by one you speak to them, heeding the advice others gave you. You tell them that Molag Bal's agreement to give them the Valenwood is a lie because he plans to destroy Nirn anyway. After some deliberation, they give you their decision.
The council can no longer ignore the truth happening around us. For too long we obeyed our vows and waited for a reward that will never be granted. Should we continue on our path, even after Valenwood is destroyed?
They've agreed to help you enter the tower and will aid in the fight against Molag Bal. You enter the tower and find a light of Meridia that you take with you.
Excellent. Bring the crystal with you.
Then a projection of Lalorian Dinar, the Eyelid King, appears. He tells you he's alive and has waited for centuries, but the light of Meridia can be used to free him. He explains how you can enter his prison by moving crystals near the prison door.
My body is imprisoned within a pillar of darkness, generated by the ebon shards to each side.
You align the crystals to destroy 2 receivers, and the last Eyelid King is free. He thanks you, then opens a portal to the Hollow City.
This portal leads to the Hollow City. We shall talk again when we are safely inside its walls.
As a master tactician, he decides he will assume leadership of the Fighters Guild. You head inside to speak with him while he speaks with a groundskeeper. Leaderless, you find them bickering, but once there's a pause in the argument, you speak with Darian.
My apologies for that display. The whole rash comment. Just a figure of speech, of course. So, I suppose you know more about this place than any of us. Like where I can get a decent drink?
Then King Dinar enters to convince them to follow his leadership, and you head outside to speak with the groundskeeper. With the Fighters and Mages Guilds assembled in the Hollow City, she says you can either strike now or find more allies first. At this point, there are side quests you can do to unlock more features in the city, but they aren't part of the main questline. When you are ready to proceed, you meet with the groundskeeper outside the chapel.
You shall find the Ayleid King and the Mage inside the cathedral. They await your arrival. Once you enter the cathedral, the preparations for the final assault to save Nirn will begin.
You enter and speak with King Dinar, asking if it's really necessary to fight Molag Bal himself. He says the planar vortex must be dealt with to stop the plane meld, and he fears battle is inevitable. Discussion among the guilds proceeds, and it is agreed that crossing the chasm to reach the planar vortex is to be the next move. King Dinar asks you personally to lead the assault across the chasm. As you head out, you speak with Cadwell. He says focus stones will need to be broken to remove a magic ward in front of the chasm, but he makes it sound like a very challenging task, so you ask what the issue is.
Nothing other than the multitude of Dremora sitting on top of them. I could handle this myself, but I didn't want to make the rest of the troops sad by showing off my awesome battle skills. But you, on the other hand, they're used to that from you.
Then Darian and Wax and Ash proceed ahead while you speak with Cadwell again. He says Molag Bal's daughter, Molag Runda, is sending reinforcements through 2 portals up ahead, and we need to close these portals. You fight off waves of enemies while the others work to seal the portals.
Watch and learn. Let me show you how to close a Daedric portal. One Daedric portal closed, as promised. Now.
The portal is closed. We make a most effective team, my friend.
I think our friends have the chasm well in hand. What say we pop in for a chat with Molag Grunda?
You and Cadwell head inside. Inside, he says that 2 flywheels need to be activated, both guarded by Daedra. This unlocks her chamber, so you head inside and kill her. Then you step outside and speak to Vanus. He confirms that they have secured the chasm and troops can now be moved to the front lines. He points out a structure called the Harvest Heart and says the area is crawling with vampires. He needs you to mark their lairs with their own blood for a ritual he's going to perform.
Why are you subjecting my people to this danger? Vec, I hope you're watching.
You meet with Vanus at the Harvest Heart, but a vampire named Vergar the Red wishes to speak with you first, as she takes issue with what Vanus is planning.
The ritual the elf plans to perform will drive my children mad. But there's a better solution if you're willing to listen to reason. Molag Bal is the real enemy here. Let me help you free my children from the Dark Lord's thrall. Then we both win.
You can't seriously be considering her proposal, can you? She's a confounded vampire, for Magnus's sake!
You get to decide. If you give Vergar the benefit of the doubt, then next you'll protect her while she performs her ritual instead. This ritual will break Molag Bal's hold on the vampires. Returning to the Harvest Heart, Vanus is still there and he even helps the two of you with the last part of the ritual. The last part involves the two of them destroying the Harvest Heart while you fend off Daedra and destroy protective totems.
Harvest Heart is destroyed!
The ritual succeeds, and she promises the aid of the vampires against Molag Bal. Next, you meet with the last Eyelid King, Lelorian Dinar. He's preparing to assault the Reaver Citadel. He's planning a surprise attack, but says he needs you to disable the wards which protect the Citadel first. As you approach, the Dremora named Lyranth calls out to you. She tells you of a way you can sneak into the Citadel undetected, so you ask her why she would help you.
Never look a gift Daedroth in the maw, little mortal. I offer information, nothing more. The warded building you seek is near the main gate. The kin will try to stop you. If they don't succeed, we will speak again.
Sure enough, you find the breach and step inside the Citadel undetected. Again, you are suspicious of Lyranth, but all she says is that she is using you to settle a debt. Moving on, you collect the ward key King Dinar was asking for. This allows you to enter a building which was once a fighters guild in another time. Inside, King Dinar says the fighters guild will distract the Dremora while you work to activate the old mages guild portal nearby. First, you have to collect its portal stones. Then you place the stones and activate the portal. This provides a shortcut for the mages. Vanus comes through and praises you for how much you've accomplished. Next, he says the two guilds will take control of the Citadel if you can go to the stronghold and take out the Daedric leader, Valkanaz Ceres. Outside the stronghold, Lyranth appears again. She says you cannot enter without Daedric blood willingly given, and she is happy to oblige because it is against Ceres whom she seeks vengeance.
My clan was destroyed, erased from this existence. And the hand that orchestrated that destruction was Valkanaz Ceres. He thought my clan was a threat to his power. Whatever the right or wrong of it, Ceres must pay for what he did. The way is open.
I see your hand in it, mortal hands. Duped by outcast kin. I will take great pleasure in it with your lives.
With him defeated, Lyranth is now in charge of the Citadel, but she assures you she won't order her kin to attack you just yet. You grab the labyrinth key from his chest and head outside. Vanus is there and says with the key in hand, it's time to find the planar vortex and end the plane meld once and for all. He wants you to scout ahead before sending in all the forces, but he asks you to speak with members of the guilds first to understand the plan.
Molag Bal is using tactics similar to what we faced in the chasm. He set up a portal to move his troops around quickly. As you head in to open the labyrinth, we need you to close that portal.
Of course. We've already sent in a small force, a distraction as it were. While they keep the enemy occupied, you slip in and open the labyrinth. As you clear a path, Fighters Guild soldiers will fall in behind you to hold the line.
You get to choose one guild member to accompany you, and before you leave, Dinar speaks up to outline the plan and rally the troops. Then you head inside and fight your way to the reinforcement portal first.
Well, that portal up there is our final destination?
With that portal closed, Vanus is ready to send in all the troops for a full assault. He asks you to find the portal to the planar vortex. He's sending Gabrielle and some mages with you. As you proceed, Gabrielle says there's a mechanism holding the door shut and they haven't figured it out yet. Exploring around, you find that the large pipes in the room need to be lit using the cold fire braziers. Then you have to work your way through a very dark room, following the little glimmers of light you can see. After that room, you enter a room full of statues, and Gabrielle is creeped out. A moment later, the statues come to life and attack.
Sometimes I hate it when I'm right. Here they come!
In the next room, Vanus points out the portal to the planar vortex ahead, but it is guarded by a Daedric Titan. Once you kill the Titan, the groundskeeper from the Hollow City appears to congratulate you, and you suspect she is not merely a groundskeeper.
Keep working on it. You will solve the riddle eventually. There is more to do if you wish to save your world. To halt the plane meld, you must enter the Eye of the Storm. The planar vortex can only be disrupted from the inside.
Moving on, she says that inside you'll need to destroy dark anchors and unleash the light of Meridia. As you enter, the groundskeeper follows you, transforms into Meridia herself, and destroys one of the dark anchors. You talk to her and she confirms that she is in fact Meridia, and then she tells you that your friends are arriving. King Dinar tells you that he has lived through many ages, but he is proud to call you his friend. Vanus says Meridia and Molag Bal are two Daedric princes who've always hated each other, and their hatred has cost so many lives. Darian is in awe because he has lived this moment many times in his dreams since he was a boy. He says the dreams always end with blinding lights. Cadwell forgets why we're here, so you tell him, and at least he remembers that the plane meld is a bad thing. When you're done conversing with your friends, you tell Meridia you're ready to get started. She says all 3 dark anchors need to be destroyed, then her light must be unleashed at the focal point of the planar vortex. On the way, you get close to Molag Bal, but Meridia shields you from his attacks. The anchors are destroyed, and Meridia finds the focal point of the planar vortex. With Meridia's light placed, the Council of Molag Bal appears to kill you, but you and your friends fend them off while Meridia shields you from Molag Bal's attacks.
Now you shall die!
Get behind my shield.
Once the council is defeated and the light is ready, Vanus, Gabrielle, and you activate it. You are instantly teleported back to the Hollow City.
Get back here! Darian!
The planar vortex is destroyed. Molag Bal's plane meld is at an end.
So the plane meld has been stopped, and she tells you that most of your friends made it back here, but Darian is missing. She also says the Daedric princes will be well aware of you now, and they will be making plans for you. You find Dinar gravely wounded. He says he was outside Meridia's protection just before she teleported everyone to safety.
Darkness fills my eyes. As the light erupted around me, someone pushed me closer to Meridia's shield. It was too late to save me, but it did bring me here. My fate doesn't matter. I'm gladdened by the thought that Nern is safe.
He gives you his sword, then he dies. As you step outside, a projection of Varin the Prophet appears. He says it's time to take down Molag Bal, the god of schemes, and he invites you back to the harborage to prepare. And that is the end of the story of Coldharbour. What comes next is the conclusion of the main quest storyline, distinct from the zone story of Coldharbour, which I've already made a recap for, and I will link it here. I hope you've enjoyed this recap. Keep an eye on my channel. I'll be making recaps for the DLC and chapter zones next. Until next time.